Hello everyone, I am Dr. Tulsidas Patil, currently working as Assistant Professor at Shri Vilay Parle Kelvani Mandal's Institute of Pharmacy, Dhule. In this video, I am going to discuss about the pyrogen test. Disclaimer, this presentation is made for educational purpose only and not meant for any commercial interest. The information provided in the presentation by the presenter is taken from his own personal experiences and understanding and from the references which are quoted at the end of the presentation. Learning outcomes. After successful completion of this topic, students will be able to understand about the pyrogen test and its acceptance criteria as per official standards mentioned in Indian Pharmacopoeia, United States Pharmacopoeia and British Pharmacopoeia. So let's start with the introduction. What are pyrogens? Pyrogens are basically metabolic products of microorganisms. These are lipid substances which are associated with the carrier molecule, which is usually polysaccharide or peptide in nature. So parenteral products ideally must be free from pyrogens. If pyrogenic preparation is injected, about 1 hour of its injection, it may show symptoms like increase in the body temperature, which may cause fever, even chills or body itches. Pyrogenic substances can be produced by some gram-positive bacteria, from mycobacteria, fungi, and even also by the viruses. When these pyrogens are produced by gram-negative bacteria, these are referred as endotoxins. So let's see in detail about the pyrogen test. Pyrogen test involves the measurement of rise in body temperature of the rabbits following intravenous injection of sterile solution under examination. This test is designated for the products those can be tolerated by the rabbits at dose not greater than 10 ml per kg, which is injected intravenously within a time frame not more than 10 minutes. Why we should go for rabbit? The first important reason is that rabbits give reproducible pyrogenic response, whereas other species are not giving predictable responses. And third important reason, that the threshold of pyrogenic response given by the rabbits is similar as compared to the human beings. Now we will see different requirements for carrying out pyrogen test. First and most important is selection of animals. We take healthy adult rabbits of either sex weighing not less than 1.5 kg. In case of equipments and materials, we use different glasswares, syringes, needles, which must be thoroughly washed with water for injection and heated in hot air oven for 250 degrees Celsius over the period of 30 minutes either, or 200 degrees Celsius for 1 hour in order to make them pyrogen free. In case of diluents, when it is stated that sodium chloride injection as a diluent, we use 0.9% NaCl injection. All the diluents and solutions that we are using must be sterile and pyrogen free. Then retaining boxes are required for housing of the rabbits. So these boxes must be comfortable for the rabbits. In case of checking the temperature of the rabbits, we use thermometers or thermistors or probes. So these must be calibrated to assure the accuracy of 0.1 degree Celsius, and the maximum reading of that thermometer must reach in less than 5 minutes. We have to insert these instruments in a rectum of the test rabbits to the depth of about 5 cm as per Indian Pharmacopoeia and not less than 7.5 cm as per United States Pharmacopoeia. Let's see some more details about the testing animals. We have to use healthy and mature rabbits, as we now aware. We have to house these rabbits individually in an area of uniform temperature between 20 to 23 degrees Celsius, and that temperature should not fluctuate beyond plus minus 3 or plus minus 2 degrees Celsius from that stated temperature as per USP and IP. We have to maintain the uniform humidity and disturbance free environment which may excite the animals. Before utilizing the rabbits for the first time in pyrogen test, we have to house these rabbits for at least 7 days before going for the sham test. We can't use rabbits for the pyrogen testing if more frequent utilization of rabbits was done once every 48 hours. We can't utilize rabbits prior to 2 weeks following a maximum rise of temperature of 0.6 degrees Celsius or more when it is subjected to the pyrogen test, or we can't utilize rabbits if they are given with the test specimen which was declared pyrogenic. Pyrogen test is carried out in 2 stages. First is the preliminary test, which is also referred as a sham test, and other is the main test. So in case of preliminary test or sham test, we condition the animals for about 1 to 3 days before going for testing of the actual substance under examination. In this, we inject the animals pyrogen free saline solution which is previously warmed at 38.5 degrees Celsius intravenously at a dose of 10 ml per kg body weight, and then we record the temperature of the animals starting from at least 90 minutes before the injection, and we continues the temperature recording for about 3 hours after injection. In this test, if animals are showing the temperature variation greater than 0.6 degrees Celsius, then we can't use these animals for the main test. After carrying out the sham test, we go for the main test procedure. In that, we take the group of 3 rabbits, then we have to record the temperature of the animals at an interval not more than 30 minutes, beginning at least 90 minutes before the injection of the solution under examination, and we have to continue the readings for 3 hours after injection. To measure the initial temperature, we have to record the temperature of animals after injection and after 30 minutes, and we have to take a mean of these 2 temperatures, and it is considered as an initial temperature. So the recording of these 2 temperatures should be carried out within 40 minutes. It should not exceed the 40 minutes. So the difference in between the initial temperature and the maximum temperature which is recorded during the study, it is taken as the response. When this difference will come negative, then we consider this response as a zero response. While performing the main test, we have to carefully follow the criteria for sample injection and for selection of the rabbits during test. We have to inject the samples slowly in marginal vein of ear of each rabbit over the period which should not be exceeded beyond 4 minutes. Then the amount of sample should be used which is prescribed in the individual monograph, and it should not be less than 0.5 ml per kg and should not be greater than 10 ml per kg of the body weight of the rabbits. When we go for selection of the rabbits, we have to keep in mind that if rabbits are showing the temperature variations greater than 0.2 degrees Celsius in between the successive readings, those are taken for determination of the initial temperatures, then we do not use these animals. Also, in any one group of the testing animals, we use only those animals whose initial temperatures do not vary by more than 1 degree Celsius from each other. And third important criteria, that we do not use any rabbit which is having the temperature higher than 39.8 degrees Celsius and lower than 38 degrees Celsius. Now we will see the interpretation of the results, which is very important, that how we can judge whether the samples under testing are pyrogenic or non-pyrogenic. When we consider the Indian pharmacopoeia suggests the testing of 3 rabbits in a group. So in a 3 rabbit group, the individual rise in a temperature should be less than 0.6 degrees Celsius, and the temperature rise in a group should not exceed 1.4 degrees Celsius. If both the criteria are followed, then we say that the test passes, that is samples are non-pyrogenic. But if one of the criteria get exceeded, then we have to repeat the test by taking additional group of 5 rabbits. So initial 3 plus 5 rabbits, we have 8 rabbits. So in between 8 rabbits, not more than 3 rabbits show the individual rise in temperature beyond 0.6 degrees Celsius, and the temperature rise in a group should not exceed 3.7 degrees Celsius. If these criteria are followed, then we say the test passes and samples are non-pyrogenic. And if the above test does not pass, then the samples are said to be pyrogenic. When we look into the United States pharmacopoeia, it also suggests the first tier testing over the group of 3 rabbits. So in these 3 rabbits, the individual rise in temperature should be less than 0.5 degrees Celsius. Then we can say that the test will passes and sample is non-pyrogenic. If this criteria get exceeded, then we have to repeat the test over the additional group of 5 rabbits. So in between these 8 rabbits, not more than 3 out of 8 rabbits show the individual rise in temperature beyond 0.5 degrees Celsius, and the temperature rise in a group should not exceed 3.3 degrees Celsius. If these criteria are followed, then we can say the test sample is non-pyrogenic and test passes. But if the above limits get exceeded, then samples are said to be pyrogenic. As per British Pharmacopoeia, slightly different criteria are there. We can check the pyrogen testing in 4 different stages. In initial stage, we take a group of 3 rabbits. Then we can say the product pass if summed responses of the rabbits does not exceed the value of 1.15 degrees Celsius. We can say the product fails if summed responses are greater than 2.65 degrees Celsius. But if the values are in between these two, that is in between 1.15 degrees Celsius to 2.65 degrees Celsius, then we can repeat the test over another 3 rabbits. So in between these 6 rabbits, we can say the product passes the test if the summed responses are less than 2.80 degrees Celsius, and we can say the product fails if the summed responses are greater than 4.3 degrees Celsius. But if we get again the values in between 2.80 to 4.3 degrees Celsius, then we can repeat the test over another 3 rabbits. So out of these 9 rabbits, if we get the result less than 4.5 degrees Celsius for some response, then we can say the samples are non-pyrogenic. But if we get the response beyond 5.95 degrees Celsius, then we can say the samples are pyrogenic and test fails. But if we again get the values in between these two, then we can repeat the test for another 3 rabbits. So there are total 12 rabbits now. If our product shows the summed responses less than 6.60 degrees Celsius, then we can say the test passes. And if our product goes beyond this value, then we can say the test product fails for pyrogen testing and the samples are pyrogenic. We have to take a note of this. During the pyrogen test, if the temperature get raised above 1.2 degrees Celsius for a rabbit, then we have to permanently exclude that rabbit for pyrogen testing. These are the key references which are used for making this video presentation. Thank you so much for watching and listening this video presentation.